So, we're back talking about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise, but it might not be what you think. Hey, what's up everyone, it's me, SpeedSuperSonic, bringing you guys another video, and today we actually have a massive video. On the surface, it might not sound like anything too crazy because you might not even know what's going on in the Sonic community right now because not a lot of Sonic community people are talking about this, but this is pretty massive news and could have giant implications on where the Sonic franchise, specifically the Sonic movie franchise, goes in the future. What the heck's going on, Ricardo? Well, this isn't about Sonic Movie 3 specifically or stuff like that, but definitely where this franchise is heading and implications that this could have. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but the distribution company who owns the Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise, Paramount Pictures, who acquired the Sonic franchise from Sony in the mid-2010s after Sony kind of gave up on the franchise. Well, Sonic has been doing great for Paramount and it's been one of their most lucrative and successful properties at that studio, even showing up other franchises like Ninja Turtles and Transformers, which is really impressive. The company as a whole hasn't been doing tremendous, and there's been a lot of talk of that studio being sold off or merging or partnering with other studios or companies to allow Paramount to, live on and, still exist, rather than fading away into debt and ultimately shutting the studio down, which would obviously be terrible, especially with all the valuable IP that they have, like SpongeBob, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Transformers, and obviously Sonic. Well, we just got a report from Variety that is really some blockbuster stuff right here. It is massive, and that is the fact that Paramount Pictures and Warner Brothers are in discussions right now about merging the two companies together. That's right, this is pretty big stuff. This is a decently large article, but there's a lot of fluff in here that I know a lot of you guys don't really care about. In terms of what's, significant to us as Sonic fans, we're just gonna read the meat and potatoes of everything from here. Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount Global have held talks about a potential merger of the two media companies, Variety has confirmed. Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav met with Warner Bros. Global CEO Bob Baskish in a lunch meeting Tuesday in New York, where they discussed a possible merger, sources said. Zaslav also has talked with Shari Redstone, whose National Amusements Inc. owns a controlling stake in Paramount Global out of a potential combination of the companies. Now, skipping past some financial stuff, let's get down to here. Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount would be looking to pool their assets, which span TV, film, sports, and streaming, to gain greater scale and operational efficiencies. Specifically, Warner Bros. Discovery and Paramount would have an interest in combining their Max and Paramount Plus premium streaming services to better compete with the likes of Netflix and Disney's Disney Plus and Hulu. Now, this is the big part right here. On the film side, Warner Bros. Discovery would acquire top-tier properties from Paramount Pictures, including such film franchises as Terminator, Transformers, Mission Impossible, Top Gun, A Quiet Place, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Godfather, Paranormal Activity, Scream, and Star Trek film franchises. Obviously, that's not all of them. Some are left out, like our beloved Sonic, but that's just an idea of some of the larger ones that they would gain possession of that might be more valuable over a long course of time. The Warner Bros. Pictures stable includes the DC Extended Universe films, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings movie franchises, and then it goes off from there. Like I said, if you guys want to read the whole thing, go seek it out. It's on Variety's website right now. It's a good read. What does this mean? What could happen? This is pretty big. Even still though, there's no confirmation that this is 100% going to happen, but I could very well see this happening. And even if, let's say hypothetically, it doesn't go with Warner Bros. and Paramount just stays by itself for a while, at some point in the future, Paramount is probably going to end up merging or being sold off to another studio. But right now in front of us, we are looking at a potential merger with Warner Bros. Discovery, which means Sonic would be under that umbrella, under new management. And what do I think of this? I don't know. What I do think should be looked at is Warner Brothers is obviously going to value what, is valuable for Paramount, and that is Sonic. The only stuff that has really been successful for them over the past few years has been Top Gun, some Mission Impossible stuff, even if the last film wasn't incredibly successful. And while franchises like Ninja Turtles and Transformers have done great for them in the past, as of late, they've kind of been fading off. Don't get me wrong, that last Ninja Turtles movie was great, but it didn't make a whole lot of money. Sonic, though, has been very well received by critics and audiences, but it also has been making a lot of money as well, especially for as cheaply as these movies are produced at just like slightly over $100 $100 million or sometimes even below. It's been very successful for them, which is why Paramount is pushing Sonic so hard. And Warner Brothers is going to see that and value that. I don't think they would throw it to the wayside to just like, you know, kind of rot and fade like Paramount's been doing with Power Rangers. It's not very popular right now and it doesn't make a lot of money, so they're not really doing a whole lot with it outside of like streaming on Netflix. Sonic, though, without a doubt, is the most popular he's ever been, so I wouldn't be scared about if Sonic went over to new management with Warner Brothers that it would be neglected or treated worse. Not just that, but this would be a merger, so a lot of people who were still part of Paramount would transition over to Warner Brothers to work there as well. Will there be changes? Yes, absolutely. But I don't think anything too drastic to where you could see anything necessarily terrible happen with the Sonic movies. Also, something that the CEO of Warner Brothers has stressed for a while is the importance of IP and strengthening that and like making not only good stuff, but you know, making stuff with that IP. Emphasizing stuff like the DC characters and Superman in particular, and also stuff like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, which some of those franchises reached their natural conclusions. There wasn't too much to go with, but Sonic isn't like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. Sonic is like, you know, something that you could just have live on forever and do so much stuff with. There's infinite potential there and possibility. And because Warner Brothers values IP so much, at least now, I think they really would try to push Sonic as much as they can, with that being one of Paramount's biggest properties, as I'm sure they do the same with other stuff like Ninja Turtles and aforementioned franchises that Paramount has. But this could be very good. While Paramount has been plenty great for Sonic and supplying it with a lot of money and resources to be successful, merging with Warner Brothers would allow even more for that, even more resources and money, to where they could do a whole bunch of more stuff. Continue this franchise on for multiple more films, Sonic movie 4, 5, 6, if that's the direction they decide to go in artistically, or just allow this to live on in other ways, whether that's soft rebooting the movie universe into going into a more, putting the characters we already have just in a, you know, not live action environment. Or you never know, maybe they decide to fully reboot and do all CG films or whatever else they might want to do. Or continue this franchise on TV, kind of like what they're doing with the Ninja Turtles right now, with the Mutant Mayhem franchise. Money runs the world and it's very important, so having as much as you have with that for Sonic is going to be great for the franchise. Allow it to fully, really expand. Maybe more opportunities in television for a Sonic movie animated series or more live action series outside of just Knuckles to continue. Licensing opportunities and so much else. There's a lot of upside to this and there's a lot to be excited about if this does go down, but there's a lot to not also be excited about as well. Warner Brothers' artistic integrity has been a little bit questionable with them, you know, canceling already finished projects that they don't see as financially viable, which I don't think they would view Sonic as, but you never know. Maybe a show could get shelved or taken off a streaming service, or the same with a movie that might not do as well as another. I understand Warner Brothers was a mess before Discovery bought. If you guys don't know the whole saga about that, I don't really have enough time here to tell you about it. But long story short, Warner Brothers has been a mess for a long time. They were originally owned by AT&T. AT&T was like, this is such a mess, we can't do this anymore, let's sell this to Discovery. So Discovery bought it, and they're really just trying to put Warner Brothers back together into a state that's like decent. So it's been really messy over there in terms of getting that put together, but they've stopped their financial bleeding. They're in a good financial spot right now, at least, to where they're able to start acquiring things like Paramount. But regardless of if they're now financially stable, they need to look at the art that they're making and make sure that they're making the best movies and shows possible and giving them respect and properly releasing them in theaters and on streaming services like HBO Max, not taking them off and hiding them from the public to never be seen. If that were to happen to Sonic, I would be, you know, obviously crushed. The canceling finished films, I'm not saying that they're the only studio to ever do this. There are other studios who have canceled or just like never released their finished movies, but Warner Brothers does it far more than any other studio, and other studios, when they do this, they at least sell them to other studios to pick up. I'm not sure if you guys know what's going on with Coyote vs. Acme, but that was a finished movie that Warner Brothers was about to just never let see the light of day until they got so much backlash from this move that they're now at least allowing the movie to be sold to at least a streamer or another distributor. But that's just the biggest thing that would worry me about Sonic going over there, is if he would also get that treatment if a project didn't go right. Like, do you know how the Sonic fan base would react if there was an announced Sonic movie coming or announced Sonic TV show, and then Warner Brothers is just like, yeah, we're gonna scrap that, it's done, it's ready, it could be released, but we're just not gonna let you see it so we can get a tax write-off. That would just be, I don't even want to think about what the fan base would do. Point is, this is a very complex discussion, a very complex move that could occur with Paramount going over to Warner Brothers. But overall, I don't see it as a completely terrible thing. I don't see it as a completely amazing thing. I think that this could be a decent move. At the end of the day, I don't think anything too crazy would happen to Sonic or would change. But as of right now, that's what we have to look forward to. I don't know if that's the right word, but at least keep an eye on, is the fact that Sonic could very well be being sold to Warner Brothers. Indirectly, yes. But this is where I pass off to you guys and ask what you think. What would you think about Warner Brothers buying up the Sonic franchise from Paramount? Would you be okay with this move, or would you absolutely not? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know what you guys have to say, genuinely. Feel free to follow my social media, links to my Twitter and Instagram in the description below. You can follow this with my life agenda and all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic. Whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comics, merchandise, and more, we talk about it all. We've been getting some really wacky, crazy, but also awesome news towards the tail end of the year, and I'm sure this is just going to continue into 2024. We have so many amazing Sonic projects, like multiple TV shows, brand new games, and of course that Sonic Movie 3 on the way, so to stay tuned for all of it. This is the spot to be. I love all of you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Wonder what you want right now, wonder what you want right now. Used to be about it, but used to be about it, Counting all my blessings and count my dollars. Make it all better tomorrow. I'll tell you how, bro.